Hey class, this is Dr. Locke again, working with this particular solid right here, where we're going to try to do this in as few extrusions as possible. But I'm going to start with the standard extrusion that they have, and we're going to start with Inventor. I'm going to create this with the instructions that they have on the website, on the slideshow, and that is with looks like 4 steps. So we're going to create, with a 2-point rectangle in the XY plane, a rectangle that is 3.5 by 1 inch, and we're going to extrude it two and a half inches. Alright, so we have the base of it right here that is going to be 3.5 inches wide here, 2.5 inches deep, and 1.5 inches tall. We're going to create a sketch on top of it, which is the second step. We're going to create a 2-point rectangle starting top left corner and moving down all the way to this side. And so it's also going to be 2.5 inches there, but the width here is 1 inch. So I'm going to hit 1 and then hit enter. That's all we need for that, and so we're going to extrude that, and that is going up 1.5 inches. And so we have that L-shaped block right here where we can now extrude. We need a cut on this side, this face right here, and then we need a cut on this face. I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to do another 2D sketch. Put a rectangle on this line right here and get that symbol that says it's on that line. I'm going to come out and do that. That is going to be 1.5 inches on that dimension and 0.5 here. I need to center this up, so I'm going to have to select this line and this line, and according to the dimensions it would probably be about 1 inch right there, and that would make the dimension from here to be 1 inch. If that's true, then I've centered it up. I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm going to extrude, and this time I'm going to cut it through. Doesn't matter if I go over, it's really only 1 inch, but if I go 1.5 inches, I'm just going to cut some air there. I'm going to extrude cut on that side. So that's extrusion 1, 2, and 3. The last one we'll do is extrusion 4. We're going to extrude on this surface. We're going to do a rectangle, and that one is going to be 1.5 inches widthwise and 0.5 down the height there. Going to dimension from this side to that side to be 1/2 inch, because both of these are going to be 1/2 inch. I don't need to dimension that, just wanted to check it. I'll finish that sketch, and I'll extrude it, and I'm going to cut that one as well, 1 inch. Hit OK, and that part is done in 4 extrusions. Now that's a lot for this, because I think we can actually do this with 1 less and possibly even 2 less, and so I'm going to show you how to do those things. So I'm going to create a new part, and in order to create this with 3 extrusions, I'm actually going to create this shape right here in 1 extrusion and then cut here and here. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch on the XY plane. I'm going to create 2 rectangles, one that is 1 inch wide by 2.5 inches tall, zoom out. I'll start another rectangle here, and that is going to be 2.5 by 1 inches tall.
The ag department has extra flowers, so if you would like to have a last minute little Valentine's gift for that.
Sorry about that interruption with the announcement. We'll start back up where we have two rectangles and move the dimensions out. So if you need to pause the video to get those dimensions correct, you may do so. But once I finish the sketch, I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to extrude this 2.5 inches deep. Okay, and then I'm going to do, so that's one extrusion now instead of two, instead of creating a separate extrusion here and here. And now I'm going to start a 2D sketch on this surface, rotate it around, create the rectangle on that line again, dimension it, .5 and 0.5 and 1 inch from one of these sides, just like I did in the last sketch. We're going to cut this, only need to cut it 1 inch. So now I have that correct on the base. I'm going to start another 2D sketch here. Create a rectangle at the top connecting those lines. I don't know why I'm not dimensioning it as I'm doing it, but this is to show you that you can dimension after the fact and you can edit dimensions. And I noticed something here too, that line right here is not on that line, so I'm going to use a geometric constraint up here called collinear. I'm going to click this line, and notice it lines up now. I'm also going to dimension from here to here, 1/2 inch, and I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm going to extrude, cut. Alright. And there's one that only has 3 extrusions, but should have exactly the same volume as this part. They both should have the same. And now I'm going to show you how to do 2 extrusions. And forgive me for going a little fast. You can pause at any time just to take a look and see how I created it. But I'm going to create the third one using 2 extrusions. I'm going to start a 2D sketch. And this time I'm going to, actually I'm going to undo that, because according to this I'm going to start maybe with the XZ plane and sketch the base part. So I'm going to do a 2D, but I'm going to do the XZ plane. First the top, so I'm kind of looking at it from this side. I'm going to go with this rectangle, and overall this was 3.5 by 2.5. I'll zoom in because it looks really small. That's 3.5 inches. That's actually negative 3.5 inches. Let's undo that. Let's re-sketch that. 3.5 by 2.5. Let's zoom in. Alright, I'm okay with that. I'm going to create the rectangle here, and I'm going to dimension that to be 1.5 and 0.5. Dimension the distance between those two to be 1 inch. And let's see if I can just grab this profile around here and extrude just that profile right there. And that's going to be 1 inch. Hit OK. And then I'm going to come around to the left side. This will be the left side. Create a sketch on this, and I'll look at it from over a 3-dimensional view so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to select this right here, this corner, and go up and to the right. And when I look at the overall dimensions, this is going to be 1.5 inches tall by 2.5 inches, which I already know it's 2.5 inches, so that's 1.5. And I'm going to create another rectangle on this line right here. Clicked in and I made sure it was touching that line this time. And this dimension is going to be 1.5. This dimension is going to be 1/2. And then the dimension from one of these sides to that side is going to be 1/2 inch. That should center it up. When I go to finish it and extrude it, I'm going to extrude it going that way so it looks like the part that I need to do. Hit OK. And there it is, 2 extrusions. You see a 2 extrusion, 3 extrusion, or a 4 extrusion. Which one do I think is best? This one.